Hello, Aries. Welcome to Sidekick Tarot. I'm Ryan. Thank you for being here. It's going to be a general reading for who you may be dealing with. Of course, everything will not resonate, so take what does and leave the rest. And for more tarot readings after this, please check out my wife's channel at Theyre Tarot. She's read for you as well. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on. Okay, fascinating. Right away, Aries. Right away, literally, right away. What they show me, they have definitely they've realized something here. I'm not too sure exactly what this is, but it almost seems and feels like they themselves are trying to kind of handle how to grasp whatever this new information is, whatever it is in and of itself. I kind of feel like they're doing their best that they can to work with it and kind of make adjustments. But they do know that something's got to kind of change or something's got to shift, but they themselves are a little bit hesitant with that as well. Okay. Yeah, they're definitely okay. Well, there is, how do I say this? There is communication between the two of you taking place, but they themselves are they're trying to be real understanding of this, but they're also kind of saying like understandable, yes, they see this, but they're also kind of saying they need a little bit of a moment to sit with it once again. Once again, they need a little bit of a moment to kind of like digest and process whatever this is. Okay. Interesting. They needed a moment. Fascinating. Very fascinating. Huh. That's interesting. It's almost like their thought process kind of like takes off on its own, and then it's almost like their uncertainty and their kind of like hesitancy. It's almost as if it's like it does feel like a little bit of a worry, but at the same time, something is clearly working out for them with the financial situation or their security, because they are showing me they've given so much to this, and they're just not too sure if these changes that they're making is kind of amounting to anything, but it is. I kind of feel like at the same time, it's just a matter of which direction they're kind of like going, or which direction, in a sense, they're focusing on. Interesting. It almost seems and it feels as if they're trying to, how do I say this? Very fascinating energy to the Aries. It's almost as if they're trying to, how do I say this? They're trying to, it almost seems and feels as if they're trying to keep the good times rolling. But it almost seems and feels like there is, once again, this hesitancy on their part, or on on their capabilities or possibly their gifts to do so. They're saying, I'm not too sure if I can kind of, in a sense, recreate this. It's almost like, even though it took place, they're a little bit like, not necessarily even cautious. They're just unsure of themselves to be able to kind of pull this off again. They're gonna, geez, they're considering it though. They're trying to replicate something here. That's fascinating. That's the first time I think I've ever used that word, replicate, especially in a reading. It's like they're trying to figure this out though. They're really trying to figure this out. They're trying to put they're almost trying to kind of like perfect some sort of plan, or I'm not gonna say strategy, anything like that, but they're trying to perfect this in a sense to kind of bring in more security, more abundance, more finances. At the same time, it's almost, how do I say this? It almost has this scientific energy attached to it. And it's like, what? It's like, who's experimenting with what? Who's dibbling and dabbling in what here? Because they themselves are in the learning process of trying to figure this out at the same time. Yeah, why does this have the energy of beginner? Like someone who's just, Jesus whiz. This has the energy of someone who's like just starting off in the craft. Just to throw that as an example. It doesn't have to be. But that's what I'm sensing from this. It's like someone who's trying to turn their craft, what they do for their work or their career or line of work, and they're trying to create more abundance and security for it. It's not always, this extreme of, what people kind of make it out to be or could be. It's just what you do. It's what you do for work. It could be a hobby or anything like that, like Hobby City with arts and crafts. But they're ultimately saying, I have to do they're almost energetically doubling down on this. I feel like they're focusing with their intent, because things right now, I feel like whether it's within a living situation between the two of you or whether it's just for themselves, I kind of feel like, I don't exactly know. But things are not very stable at home, or possibly the home itself is kind of like, beginning to shake and rumble or something, but it's in a way where they are kind of like trying to figure out how to plan and work with this energy and how things are kind of shifting and changing. Wow, and just like that, they're like, nope. Wow. They're like, nope. What happened? I want to know. It wasn't necessarily, it may have been beginner's luck, but trying to replicate that and repeat that process, they're like, I'm over it. I don't know what happened there, but it's almost like they saw things become, this sounds familiar to a reading I did a while back. Things are becoming unstable, whether it's in the living situation, within the home, or whatever it is. Of course, be careful out there, whoever you are. They're kind of like, no, I might as well just kind of stick to, it's interesting. They're kind of like, let me just kind of stick to what wow, I can't even speak right now, with what works. At the same time, they're kind of like saying, they have no more care or interest in this, but they're still trying to kind of, in a sense, find their path or find their footing. And I'm like, okay, so of course, if you are dealing with anyone, which I feel like you are here, Aries, you could be dealing with an earth sign, an air sign, a fire sign, and that is all. Goodbye.